Okay, on to the next review. Um, this one's going to be a 3 mock review because there's not much to really say about a lot of them, and all of them kind of fit the same kind of concept. I will add to it in the future, but it's the same kind of concept. We'll start with Cobble first, as only Satir will stay together after I'm done, posting this. So let me just move Satir and Akis off to the side a little bit. You might see him a little bit, but that's fine. We'll focus on Cobble real quick. First off, a little bit of a 360 in his measurements before I go into give you his lore. Yeah, he's a little bit wobbly. He's not perfect at standing up, but that's fine. I can make it work. There. Okay. Cobble is a failed Amata clone of Tiki made by the Ketron Phantoms, as the first attempt at making one by them. When he awoke, he was confused with no memories and no direction. He started his life trying to find anyone that might know anything. This led him through the Onohotu cave system, stumbling around in the dark until he bumped into Tiki. So, basically, this guy is a failed experiment, an attempt to clone Tiki by some strange scientists that were evil, or that are basically the bad guys. If that makes more sense. Forgot to do his measurements before I went about doing his lore. I'm already fucking up. But since he's hunched over, he doesn't really get full height. So he's about 12 millimeters tall, and going by the head, that is, and about 17, or not 17, about almost 6 inches tall, about halfway there. So about 5.5 inches. But if we're going by the actual cable, and that'd be his total height, which that doesn't work because the dang thing is flexible. He's roughly 6 inches, give or take, by mock-wise. And, yeah, he's just a clone of Tiki. In fact, let me just move my chair out of the way real quick and actually do this correctly. I'm going to get the ones that they are all inspired by, or all kind of clones of. Give me just one sec here, because there's more than one connection. So Koba and Elu will also be here, because I will have some explanation. Sorry, I didn't have this planned ahead of time. I don't do stuff like that. But you can already see some of the consistencies. Both of them have those little beast blade arms. They'll flip around. Both of them have mini arms. That's the reason why Tiki was upgraded. And both have a multi-tool arm, as well as a single eye and secondary ocular eye thing, and some cables. Tiki has only 2, one going to his head, one going over his torso, and one going to his multi-tool. Cobble just has them in a old random place, none of them having a rhyme or reason. Their heads are relatively nothing alike. I mean, I might change up Tiki's head to give the same little canister thing on the side like over here on Cobble. Maybe. I don't really decide on that yet. It might be a little bit more to the front if I was to do that, to be right over the scope eye. But yeah, Cobble was just basically supposed to be an experiment that failed, but he became part of the Amata team, even though he's not an actual Amata. As a character, he controls electricity and magnetism, which is, only one of them is the thing Amata can do. And that's Elu over here with electricity. I'll get to that in a sec. But, yeah, that's Cobble. Very quick review because there's not much to him. I'm going to get him and Tiki off screen. And just move my ruler. So they're out of the way because Cobble's pretty much done now. I'll have him back in a sec. The next one is Akis. Now, Akis was the second of the 3 Amata clones by the Ketron Ghost. Let me get his lore real quick. Akis is an Amata clone of Koba and a failed experiment made by the Ketron Phantoms. At first, when he was found, Koba and Elu were coming to a Kodan distress call. It was Akis on a rampage. And just thinking he was a new Mahi made by the Mayaks, they swiftly defeated him and sealed him in one of Sobok's time vaults. We'll get to Sobok in a sec. Or at a later date, excuse me. He was later broken out by the Bounty Master and went on another rampage, so Satir and Tiki went to stop him. Tiki tried to freeze him, but it wasn't until Satir tried to mind control him into a deep sleep, but ended up seeing how he was made, awakening suppressed memories of her creation and causing Akis to escape. Damn it, not the thing. So, yeah, Akis here is basically, I'll give you a 360 of him real quick. Go. Let's do height real quick before I go any further into it. Let's see. So by the spike, he's about 14 millimeters tall. If I flip this around, that's correct. Okay. He's just over 6 inches tall, if we're going by measurements. So yeah, he's pretty tall. Again, he's an experiment and a failed clone of, hold on, get her, Lotus Koba over here. Real quick, Koba has changed slightly. I was able to get crimson brackets, focus, and I put it on the mouth so it looks less jarring with the gray. Kind of matches in with the color scheme altogether and keeps her kind of consistent. Once Akis is taken apart, his toes, or I'll just swap the feet with these two because she's supposed to have clawed toes, but I didn't have any at the time when I was doing it. I recently got more, so that's fine. But yeah, Akis was basically supposed to be a clone of Koba. They both have the power of plasma, and they're both very dragon-like. Koba being more Gigan / Godzilla-like, and Akis being more Gamera-like in their design. Yeah, they're basically an official and the knockoff. But yeah, Akis is the second clone, and he's still around in the lore at this time. I've had all 3 of these are. It's just he's getting taken apart because I don't have the parts to keep them together. Some of his pieces I actually need for future builds in this universe. But yeah. He's one of my favorites. I will, like Cobble, I will rebuild him in the future. But if I was, I would try and get more of these little claw toes so I can have it for him and Koba. I might do different leg build depending on what I do for Koba, because I want them to be kind of similar to each other enough to where you could say, oh, that is a clone of her. Okay. So yeah. I might change up Akis in the future a little more if I can get bionicle parts. I do want to get a different thing than this Beast Claw, because again, you'll be seeing this a lot, to where I'm able to give him a different kind of look. I might even make his tail actually mount to anything, because originally, Koba has a really, really long tail. Yeah, it's not the best looking tail, but it's a tail nonetheless, and I like it. But I might do something similar to Koba on Akis in the future. I would do it now, but I don't feel like changing him up at all. I like the way he is right now, and he might get that change in the future depending on what Koba gets. So he'll be rebuilt in the future. But that is Akis and Koba. Koba, you can come over here for right now. You're fine right here. I'll be giving you his toes later on. Yeah, stop looking at me like that. I have no food for you. Anyways, let's get into Satir. And just get her posed and slightly up a smidge. The camera's a little bit tilted. Let me do a little bit of adjustment real quick. 1 sec here. Doing it live. There we go. Much better. Now, Satir is staying together. I'm not taking her apart. She's one of the characters I love the most just by her design alone. And yeah, I'll be keeping her together. I will get to her lore in a second. In fact, let me set that up on my computer so I can go straight into reading that. There we go. And I will get the 360 for her. Real quick. I can't wait until I can get a chance to get something that I can use to spin these automatically. I'm going to kind of change up her pose a little bit because I'm that kind of weirdo. I love my bits. Don't look at me like that. But yeah. Satir, since her last review, because I believe I posted that, I'm pretty sure I did, has changed. Her arms are now more zigzag and back-like, so that way she can kind of curl it up. Gone are the big, bulky weapons in the plan to use the Chirox blades. Instead, I'm just going to go with this and maybe do some kind of like dagger piece, different kind of piece, maybe some other pieces. Her pelvis is changed to be like Ilu's, which I will get into that in a second, because that's the point of why I have Ilu here. Her head is also, if I can focus, thank you, is more bat-like. I tried to get it bat-like, but it just came out cutesy, and I think it's fine. She's an adorable kind of character. Let's get her back. Oh my god. Focus. Thank you. Let's get her lore real quick. Before I do her... Actually, I'll do her measurements first. Before I do her lore. Let me see. We'll go with inches first. Because I'm an American. And Americans like inches. That sounded far worse than it should have. So she's a little bit over 6 inches tall. And if I flip this around... She's roughly, if I'm going by the camera, a little over 14 millimeters tall. Almost, actually she's 15 millimeters tall. A little bit over it, actually. Now I look at it correctly. Sorry, the time counter on the top is blocking above her head. I really wish that wasn't there, but that's not the problem. Now, let's go over her lore. I'm going to put Ilu here because Ilu does play a big role in her character in some way. Also, I'm just now noticing how tall Ilu is. She's a fucking giant. Holy shit. I didn't actually have these two together, but noticing, because Satir feels nice and tall just the way she is. Ilu feels like she's too goddamn tall. And I'm not changing that. Okay, here's her lore. Satir is a perfected Amata clone. Made by the Ketron Phantoms, she is reluctant yet gentle and shy. She can control gravity in its entirety and uses it to fly through the darkened tunnels at which she lives in. And with her powerful telepathic powers, she can read organic minds, but tends to keep to herself. She has limited memories of her origins, which she keeps secret as it scares her to share. What we do know from the Mayax Rudax was vague and impossible to fathom. Mayax have agreed to let Ilu enter their fortress, but only if Satir is on the premises, as the Mayax deem it necessary to protect her. So yeah, originally when I had Ilu, she was supposed to be actively antagonist to everybody. Almost to a fascistic kind of degree, because she was supposed to be kind of like a necessary evil kind of bad guy. Kind of got tired of that, so I changed it up for Ilu. Ilu is now the protector of Satir after and it's more Golly-like with her gentle nature instead of being aggressive. And she protects Satir in every way. The reason for it is because somehow there's some connection to notice, excuse me, that Satir is a clone of Ilu. I don't have that in the Google Doc, and I might add that, but generally, she is supposed to be a clone of Ilu because of her design and everything, albeit with some changes. She's more beast-like and less, tall like Ilu is. And that's kind of the lore tip that I kind of want to go with for Satir. Kind of just have this be her, the fact that she's a clone of her, but she's so perfected that you can't even see the connection. But Ilu taking a very big stance on protecting her. In a lot of ways, trying to help her in every way that she can. I guess to kind of personal mind my my redemption of her, because I really fucked up when I wanted to make her a terrible character. But yeah, that's basic. I'm actually gonna do something special. Even though this isn't the plan for it, I'm gonna do a measurement of Ilu because I'm actually curious how tall she is. Let me just move the camera up a little bit so I can see it better. She is just shy of 17 millimeters tall. And that's just in her pose. In fact, I'm gonna stand her up straight, where she's not in some janky pose. I'll fix that later, so that I can get a 100% accurate notice of how tall she is. Okay, now she's just shy of 18 millimeters tall. If I flip this over, she is just shy of 8 inches tall. Shit, this bitch is tall. I didn't even think I made her to that tall, but I love it. She's one of my favorite designs. It's the reason I'm keeping some of these together. So they're all my favorite designs. But yeah, I'll fix my camera up a little more and bring you a little bit closer because they're like big sister, little sister. That's the guys that's kind of going with for her is that it's supposed to be like a little shy sister and big protective sister. Because again, I kind of want Elu to be the protective one for Satir because she's supposed to be that little shy muffin. But yeah. Also, while I'm also thinking about it, oh fuck, let me get you real quick, and oh damn it, talk about this little shit over here for a sec. Let me just move these two out of the way. I know it's not his review or any of them, but I just wanted to drop it that I might be changing Vero again and redoing his review. Basically, give him giant claws that are for digging, and moving one of the cannons onto the back. So he has basically just a big back cannon. He's still hunched over. He just uses his legs to hold him up. Haven't really started that, obviously, but I'm contemplating if I want to do it. If I do, expect Vero to be slightly different. And honestly, in that posture, I can make the cannon on his back. Maybe make it flip over so it's kind of pointing away from him, and he can use that to launch himself through the air. Don't know yet. I might do that, or I might just keep this dual gun cannon kind of look. I'll have to experiment with that when I get the chance, but that might honestly happen for Vero. I'm kind of liking that idea. I'm tired. It's too late in the morning to be doing this. But yeah. I'm gonna get these guys out of picture. Including you. God, I just noticed how many builds I've got. I just got so many. And you will go over here for right now. You might be in picture, but that's fine. As I'm going to bring in the reason this video was made. Satir, Akis, and Kabul. Now, like I said before, I want this to be a consistent I do into the future, where I have more of these Amata clones, because these aren't supposed to be the only ones. Even after Satir, which is the third one, they're still trying to perfect their Amata clones so they can mass produce them as an army to basically be better than the gods that created the official Amata. But yeah, I want to do more like these builds, and as well as all the other builds I gotta review. I gotta do Sabak. I have to do the Mayaks that I've got. I've got to do the Mahi beast that I've got. I've got like 2 of them, 3 if you want to count around me bulk builds. So I got a lot of builds I still got to review and everything. But yeah, I'm going to be doing more builds like this, more role building for what these guys have to deal with. I just got to figure out how I'm going to actually go about it, because Akis, again, they defeat him twice because he's on a rampage, so Satir gets in. Satir's not a fighter. She can be. She has gravity manipulation powers, but she doesn't like fighting. Kabul's a grumpy old Scottish man. Scottish/Irish. Let me see if I can do this. He's got a very Scottish accent whenever he speaks. He's always grumpy at everybody. Always talking about everybody's vapid and pathetic like he is. He's quite the jackass when you look at him. That's kind of the guys I want to go with for Kabul. Akis doesn't speak because, you know, he's an animal. he's gone from the Cajun speaking guy in the corner to being a beast, and I kind of want to do it that way, like he's an animal that's been abused, if you will. But yeah, these two will be taken apart, but Satir is staying together. In fact, out of the main 5 Amata and all the builds I have next to me, Satir and the 5 Amata are the only ones staying together. All the rest are being taken apart until I can get the parts to upgrade them. I do want to put these guys off to the side and real quick talk about what I might want to do to Satir in the future. if it will focus. Thank you. Generally maybe a different kind of foot design. I'm kind of looking at those feet design from what's it called? It's the ones that were remolded from the original Av Matoran design or Shadow Matoran design. The little two-toed bat feet. I want to see if I can get some with the new CCBS attachments that they had for what's his name, Toxic Reaper or Reaper, however you want to call him. I want to change her feet out to that. Maybe figure out a different way to do the wings. Maybe use like maybe a vinyl piece, not a vinyl piece, but maybe some custom made fabric, and just have it attached that way. And then just maybe change up her blades, because again, these are her gravity blades right here. These little blades are these little fang things are her gravity blades. This is what helps her control gravity. I'm actually going to upgrade her with one of those Borak teeth in this color, because I forgot to do that in the first place. Can you tell I'm a professional? I can't. Though, looking at it now, it might hinder some articulation, because it will stop it from closing in all the way. I don't know, I'll look into that. But yeah, I do want to change the tier in the future. I do want to give her some different look towards it, but still keep that bat aesthetic. The heads, I don't think any of the heads are going to change except for Koba's, because she's the only one I can change. But, yeah, outside of those changes, there's not really anything changing on her. She's kind of just fine the way she is. Anything would just be additive and kind of just expressing more of her design language. Now, for Akis and Kabul, I don't think I will change at all. I'm pretty happy with the way he is. In fact, I'm going to go back into it and take more pictures and maybe in the future add more pieces and stuff like that. But generally, Kabul is fine the way he is. Good, tired. Excuse me. But, yeah. Kabul, I'll just rebuild them in the future. I almost want to keep them together, but a lot of pieces like these armor add-ons, I don't have many of them, so yeah, I'm probably going to take it. I'm most likely going to take them apart actually, and I'll reuse his pieces. And then Akis, whatever change I do to Koba, I'm gonna do a kind of mirrored version of him with her, because again, he's supposed to be a clone of her. That's what gives the idea of it. But, yeah, expects the tier to stay together. The rest are taken apart. And Vero is going to get an upgrade. So, I hope you enjoyed this 3 mock review plus freebie talking about Vero again. Somebody I can't stop talking about because I'm constantly fucking changing him. Oh, man, I can't wait until I'm actually completely done with his ass. Not the point. I hope that you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time with the next mock review. The next mock review will be this fucking guy. Focus. He's been upgraded. Bye, everybody.